If you like the 1980s and you love sci-fi, but you haven't heard of In Search of Tomorrow, then you better watch the rest of this video. Thanks for sticking around, folks. I'm Andy, Electric Geek, and if you're still here, that means that my shitty attempt at a hook at the beginning of the video didn't completely put you off, so that's a bonus. So with this video, I just want to shine some light on this fantastic documentary. It's exactly what it says in the tin. So it's the definitive 80s sci-fi documentary, In Search of Tomorrow. It was a crowd-funded documentary and it came from the production team CreatorVC. This isn't the first one they've done. They've actually got a bit of a back catalogue now of these kind of documentaries that have been super popular. This is the only one I've actually watched, but I'm really looking forward to checking out the other ones. Their most notable kind of series has been In Search of Darkness. I think there's 2 parts to that and there's a third in the works, and that kind of narrows in on 80s horror in the same way I'd imagine that this does. But yeah, this is a fantastic documentary. I actually came across it on Instagram as one of these sponsored ads, which normally are just spam, you just kind of scroll through them, but for some reason this one grabbed my attention. I went into the link and I had a look and I was just blown away by what was on offer. It was $54.99, which is quite expensive, and I didn't buy it straight away. I hummed and hawed, and it kept popping up, and eventually went back. I think I had a few days to get it before you lost the opportunity to have your name in the credits, which I'll talk about later on, and I'm so glad that I did because it's absolutely fantastic. So I ordered it back in March and it arrived just at the end of June there. To be honest, I'd completely forgotten all about it, so it was a pleasant surprise when it arrived through the door. So what you got for your money for the $54.99 was, of course, as I say, your name in the credits, which is super cool, but you got obviously the Blu-ray. So the Blu-ray came with this nice slipcover, which has some unique artwork, which is pretty awesome, and obviously a bit of a synopsis on the back. And then you've got this little Blu-ray Amaray case, so it's more bespoke artwork that was commissioned for this documentary especially. And you've seen the pictures, what it looks like inside, and you get this cool little booklet and some nice artwork on the disc also. The slipcover is reversible, so if you prefer the artwork that's on the little slip box, then you can obviously switch it around, you can have that. But inside you also get a little booklet which has a message from production team, a thanks for obviously helping them to crowdfund it by pre-ordering. And there's also this really cool checklist, which you'll notice I've got a shot of here, which has little tick boxes for every single film that's featured in the documentary. I had actually not seen a surprising amount of these, and there was some I'd never even heard of, which I'm so excited to go and check out now and hunt them down on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever. But yeah, let me know in the comments, how many of these bad boys have you seen, and what's your favourite ones from the selection? Pause the screen, have a good look at it. But the fun doesn't stop there with regards to what you get. You also got these 3 awesome posters, which 2 of which you'll recognise obviously from the artwork that's on the actual Blu-ray itself, but the best one, which I don't know why they haven't gone with that on the actual box art, is this awesome landscape one, which has all the characters with Robocop front and centre. You see some of the pictures I took here. I went a bit mental with the camera because I just love it so much, but I'll put them up on screen now. But that poster is super awesome. Everyone I've spoke to that kind of knows about this documentary, they're all in awe over this poster. They all love it over the other ones, so it will definitely get framed and it'll be getting put in my movie room, that's for sure. You also get these little stickers as well, which no doubt will find their way onto my locker at work. But yeah, pretty cool, and I think for $54.99, everything included, it's awesome, especially given that it has a runtime of 300 minutes, and if you can't be arsed doing the math, that's over 5 hours. You also get a special feature, and that is a conversation with people that created it, 3 of them. It's done like a kind of Zoom call. I've not watched it all yet, but it's still a pretty cool feature to have on the Blu-ray, which I think will be missing from the digital release that you can get from your typical streaming platforms. So the documentary itself is absolutely amazing. The production value of it is superb. I wasn't sure what to expect it being crowdfunded, but it's put together really, really well, and it has this super cool soundtrack that runs through it, which is unique and bespoke for the documentary, which in a kind of Stranger Things way borrows from all the movies that it's covering, but still, so it's kind of reminiscent of all these movies that they're gushing about on screen, but it's still its own thing, and it's very much In Search of Tomorrow's own theme, if you like. But yeah, I think that's available as well, maybe not on CD but digitally, and it's from New Retro Wave, I believe. So how the documentary's done is that it has obviously a bit of a short intro, as you would imagine, into what it's going to cover, and then it breaks it down into each year from 1980 right through to 1989, and it covers the most kind of prominent, iconic or influential films. But in between those you have kind of topical intermissions, if you like, where it talks about relevant events that happened that might have kind of had an impact on the sci-fi genre, or, you know, ones that are dedicated towards the special effects and how they came on leaps and bounds. Practical effects were probably at their absolute peak towards the late 1980s before we went into CGI. It talks about, you know, the kind of fantastic scores that we got and just generally what kind of influenced the genre in between, but they're all just as interesting as the next, and they act as like cracking bridges through to each year. But I can't recommend the documentary enough. It just flows so well and you'll be surprised. You know, you think 5 hours, God, that's gonna take a few sittings. I actually had to stop myself watching it to go to my bed because I just sat there and I was just lapping it up. And my wife, who's not interested in any sci-fi whatsoever, came in, and before she knew it, she was sitting down and she was getting sucked into it as well. So if it can pull someone in that's not even a fan of this stuff, then that's definitely a testament to just how well made this documentary is. So who's all in the documentary? Who can you expect to hear from? Well, there's some really big actors in it. You've got obviously Peter Weller, who played Robocop in the 1987 movie, and the co-lead in that, or the co-star in that if you like, Nancy Allen, that played Lois. You've also got Billy D. Williams from Star Wars, of course, Lando Calrissian, and you've got the late great Ivan Reitman, who obviously directed Ghostbusters and gives us a cracking insight into that movie when the time comes in the documentary. But he also comments on loads of other stuff and, you know, gives his kind of opinion on various other sci-fi classics. But yeah, loads of people in there. I can't remember everyone's name. You've also got Sean Young from Blade Runner there. You've also got the lead actor from The Last Starfighter. We have the guy that played the main character from Flight of the Navigator. Actor that played Flash Gordon. My mind's going blank with them, but thankfully I've got the pictures to look at. But yeah, loads there. There's loads of special effects guys as well, whose names escape me, but you'll kind of probably recognise them if you like your special features and you have some of these movies anyway on Blu-ray. But yeah, it's an amazing cast of people that they've put together. It's all the people you'd want to hear from on a documentary about 80s sci-fi, and I just can't recommend it highly enough. It's absolutely fantastic. If you are a fan of the 80s sci-fi, or ideally both, then to me this is an absolute must-see. It is available on streaming, and I think you still can buy it on Blu-ray. Obviously you've missed your chance to get your name in the credits, but I think there's a release coming towards the end of July. I think it's around about the 26th, 27th. And I'll put a link in the description for their Instagram page, which you'll find a link in that will take you through to where you can actually buy the Blu-ray. I'm not sure what will come in that, if it will be a kind of standard one, but I would say if you're a collector and you like this stuff, it's definitely worth getting the Blu-ray. You're not going to be disappointed. The picture quality on it's very good as well. I mean, it's HD, and I should also note that it's multi-region, so don't worry, regardless where you buy it from. I'm sure it comes from America, and I'm here in the UK obviously, and it was region free, so I had no issue. I could play it on my UK player and it'll be the same no matter where you buy it from. But yeah, that's In Search of Tomorrow, something I'm really glad I picked up, and as I mentioned earlier, I did get my name in the credits, although I kind of regret I didn't put my actual name in. I went with the channel because I thought no matter what happens with this channel, it's now forever going to be immortalised, and what more fitting place is there for it to be than in the credits of a definitive 80s sci-fi documentary. So that's my thinking behind it, and I'm glad I've done it. If you don't believe me, you can check it out when you watch it yourself. So if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a wee like and consider subscribing for more of this kind of content. Don't forget to drop a wee comment as well, because that really helps the video and it gets it out there to other fans of the genre who might have missed this documentary or are thinking about buying the Blu-ray. If this has got your juices going for the 80s and sci-fi, then why not check out my good friend Paul Tam's video that he's just recently done on his top 10 favourite 80s movies. I'm quite sure some of the ones that are covered in this documentary will feature there. But yeah, go over, show Paul some love and get indulged in all that 80s nostalgia. Alright, I've been Andy Electric Geek, thanks for watching. As always, take care and I'll see you in the next video.